Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking your own time out to check out this video and this edition of the Halloween Horror Nights 2022 at Universal Studios Orlando. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of other videos out there, but I wanted to put together my own because this was my first ever experience at one of these events, and I am not on camera for the video that you're about to see because it was my first ever experience. I was on holiday, I wanted to take it in, take a little bit of a sidestep and put myself on camera, but throughout the video you will hear some audio from me talking about some different things that I saw. Anyway, I just want to implore you to please stick around until the end of the video where I will be doing a ranking of the houses that I got to experience. I will also tell you which ones I didn't get a chance to, and I also will leave a little section of some tips and little helpful facts for if you do visit Halloween Horror Nights or you're debating to, everything that you will need to know. Anyway, enough of me babbling on for now. Stick around, enjoy the video, enjoy the vlog, and if you've been to Halloween Horror Nights yourself, leave any and all comments down below. Let's get to it. First ever Halloween Horror Nights was shot over 2 nights, so I went on the Thursday, the 15th of September, and then Sunday, the 18th of September. So the following footage you are seeing right now is being shot over 2 nights, because the first night when we went, it was absolutely pouring down with rain. Now thankfully we got to do a lot of the houses because the wait times were so short because of the rain, which was a blessing. And then on the Sunday night it was blistering sun, so quite the complete opposite contrasts in weather. This first part of the video is all around kind of showing you a little bit of the streets, some of the scare zones that they had here, some of the performers that were out on the street scaring people as they walked by. There were several people that got shocked, so you could hear screams in the street, and it was just so fun to be around. And the atmosphere in the theme park itself is just truly incredible. Seeing the contrast between the day and the night is tenfold. Seriously, the nighttime really illuminates up the streets and kind of the projection of the lights that they have on buildings, and then in the daytime it just has a completely different feel to it, but not necessarily a bad thing because this is so a cool experience. Both elements of either the lighter night or the darker night, whichever the case should be. But I will say that of course at night time everything seems more spookier, you get a lot more scares, you can just tell that you're really getting into that kind of like creepy atmosphere, and I think that they really project that really well. Of course, not attending a Halloween Horror Night before, me and my partner and my brothers were just absorbing everything in, whether it was the massive choice of food and the different range of food that they had on offer, or whether it was just taking in the scare zones or some of the houses that we were able to do. there's just so much to see and do in one night, or 2 nights in our case scenario, where we didn't get everything done, and really you are soaked into the element of horror, and I think they capture that really well, so fair play to Universal. If you're wondering if we got any food, my partner got the No Chance in Hell PB&J, and I got the fried Oreos. Very delicious treats, by the way. I don't know if I would recommend them over some other snacks that they have available at like the other stalls, but they were pretty tasty for what they were. No trip to Universal is complete unless I check out Back to the Future, which is so great to see that they have the train and the DeLorean out on display. And of course, right next to it is the Simpsons ride, which of course, if anyone knows their history, used to be the Back to the Future ride. And at night time, the Simpsons land really looks as if you're in kind of like the Treehouse of Horror episodes, which really makes this place stand out. Now on to the tribute store, where what can I honestly say about this place? There is so much merchandise you can easily buy, and you can easily spend a couple of hundred, even thousand of dollars in this shop. And this is where I got my sweet Michael Myers t-shirt from. My partner picked up a couple of shirts and got that like little pumpkin bag, which you'll see. And this store is just honestly so incredible. The amount of detail that's gone into it, the amount of different layers that there is to the store. And they also have a section where you can buy different themed Halloween cakes, which is really, really cool, especially one with like a knife in the cake itself, which is awesome to see. Yeah, this tribute store is truly awesome, and definitely a tribute to Halloween, to horror, to Universal, and just to fans in general. Yeah, definitely a sweet spot you have to check out. After the tribute store, we also found kind of another horror store next to the horror makeup show, I believe it was called. We didn't get a chance to check that out, but of course they have kind of like the store similar to the tribute one next to it, which has still got a lot of the stuff in you'll find in the tribute store, but also has some other items and memorabilia that you'll see in the glass cases from like movies, for example, or some just replicas what you'll see from the movies, which is still really awesome to see. Last but certainly not least in here is Universal each night do a big kind of water display show. I don't know what the exact term is for it, so I do apologize, but the water show itself is incredible, and the music that they're playing along with the effects of the water, yeah, it just has to be seen to be believed. Alright, so I hope that you enjoyed the vlog, and I hope that you enjoyed the little trip of Halloween Horror Nights 2022 with me. It was such a blast and one of the best things that I have ever attended. It was so great also going with my partner and my two brothers on two separate different occasions. Such awesome fun-filled nights. So the part that you've all now been waiting for is the ranking of the houses that I got to experience, which was 8 of them. So without further ado, let's give you my ranking. At number 8, we have Spirits of the Coven. Number 7 is Fiesta de Chupacabras. Number 6 is Hellblock Horror. Number 5 is Bugs Eaten Alive. Number 4 is Dead Man's Pier Winter's Wake. Finally, onto the top 3 houses, and at number 3 for me is Halloween. This house was purely awesome. The only issue is though, it seemed to go by so quick, and I didn't really get to soak in the full atmosphere I wanted to, although I managed to grab a sweet shirt, so it's all good. At number 2 for me was a big surprise, and that is The Weeknd, the After Hours Nightmare. Now, I haven't seen any of The Weeknd's music videos. You know, you might be going, Mike, you're living under a rock right now. Yeah, I hadn't seen any of them, and I purposely didn't want to start watching them before going into this house, because I wanted to be surprised at what I was expected to see. And oh boy, I was surprised. There's a lot of flashing lights in here, by the way, so I will say, if you're prone to like photosensitivity and stuff and the flashing lights, this house definitely isn't for you. But it was such an awesome house. There was certainly a part right at the end I was like, there was just kind of creative, and I really dug that. So yeah, a very surprising house. And also the build up to this house is outside. You stood outside, and it's kind of like a little disco vibe going on, playing like all Weeknd songs, and I didn't even realize like how many hits that guy actually has. Yeah, The Weeknd, After Hours Nightmare is number 2. And at number 1, my favorite house of the night was The Horrors of Blumhouse, which contained Freaky and The Black Phone. Now, there is a divide between the two, so after you finish Freaky, which you go in first, you then go into The Black Phone. And now, if anyone knows me on this channel, Black Phone is definitely my favourite horror of 2022 so far. And this house was just so awesome. Seeing the different variations of the grabber, having like the grabber jumping out at you several different times. Seeing our lead character at the time, Finney, get his revenge on the grabber, as such as the movie plays out, was just so awesome to see and so awesome to be in that environment. Freaky was pretty cool for the parts you get to experience, and there's certainly some fun elements in there. I would say though, the black phone one should have just had its own house and maybe just gone a little bit longer. I would have personally preferred to have seen that. But that is my ranking of the houses. So have you been in the houses yourself? Let me know in the comments down below your ranking of the houses. The last part I want to touch on in this video is just a couple of little tips and tricks that I learned throughout the Halloween Horror Nights that really helped to benefit me and my partner and my brothers. So the first tip I can honestly give you is, if it is raining at any point during the night when you are there, run to the busiest houses of the night. Now, the busiest houses of the night is Halloween, The Weeknd, After Hours Nightmare, and The Horrors of Blumhouse. Those three had the biggest queues all night. So me and my partner, we didn't have fast passes. Now, if you have a fast pass, this part isn't probably going to be helpful for you. But this is, if you don't have fast passes like myself, I was thinking, we missed out on fast passes. They had sold out. Am I going to experience all the houses? Well, because of the rain, we got to pretty much experience all of them, because when it was raining and we ran to the Weeknd's house first, the wait time was 20 minutes, which is nothing if it's for queuing for long houses. On the second night we went there on the Sunday, the wait time was like 95 minutes, like the quickest, and I was like, I don't want to be stood in a queue for 95 minutes. So that was like 20 minutes. The Blumhouse one was less than an hour. It said 60 minutes on the board, but I'm pretty sure it was around 35 minutes wait time. So we got to experience some of those houses. Even like the other ones that's not really known that I mentioned in the list, some of them wait times were like 10 minutes, 5 minutes even, because of the rain and people taking so much shelter. People weren't going to the houses. So that is the biggest tip and trick I can give to you. If it's raining on the night, run to the biggest houses first, get in them queues, go do them houses. And the second one is, through the night you're going to get probably really thirsty, so they do have refillable cups, and I think they're like $19 after tax. Now obviously that does seem quite pricey, but you can refill the drink every 10 minutes with either like water or like fizzy drinks, whatever the case should be. But I found myself having like at least 7-8 drinks per night personally, and it's such good value for money. And then you can also add on for $10 another day in the theme park with the cup. So even if you don't attend Halloween Horror Nights and you just go to Universal or Island of Adventure, you can still use that refill cup, and it's just so much cheaper. Because one night when we didn't do the refill cups on the first night, I spent like $5 alone on one cola, which is quite expensive for one drink, whereas for an extra $14, you can have basically unlimited drinks for the night. Like it's so worth it. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed these like little tips and tricks, and I hope you enjoyed this video overall. I can't honestly thank you enough for checking it out. I also just want to give a big special shout out to my awesome Patreons. So if you aren't aware, I do have a Patreon. It's only £2 per month, and all these kind of theme park videos that I'm making and releasing on the channel are all Patreon exclusive first access as well, so they get to see it before general release on YouTube. It's only £2 a month. You get access to early videos, a shout out in my videos. You also get to see what goes on into the channel, 2 times giveaway entries into competitions that I have here on the channel, and so much more coming very, very shortly. So big thank you to all my awesome Patreons who have YouTube channels. The names are in the description box down below, so please go subscribe to them. All awesome guys, and until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.